38 years old, 6 World Cups, and tonight, Lionel Messi did something he had never done before in his entire career on the World Cup stage. A hat trick, his first ever World Cup hat trick in 2026 at 38. Messi scored in the 17th, 60th, and 76th minute, a long-range screamer, a clinical tap-in, and a perfectly curled effort into the bottom corner. 3 different types of goals. 3 moments of pure, undiluted genius. And just when the world thought Father Time was coming for him, just when the doubters were sharpening their knives, he equaled the all-time FIFA World Cup goal-scoring record, drawing level with Miroslav Klose on 16 goals. But here's what nobody is talking about yet. Why tonight changes everything about Argentina's chances of making history. Welcome back. If you're new here, this channel is where we go deeper than the highlights, deeper than the headlines, deeper than the hot takes you'll find everywhere else. I'm your host, and this is where real soccer analysis lives. Now, let's set the scene properly. Tuesday, June 16th, Kansas City Stadium, Argentina versus Algeria. Group J of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the defending champions, the reigning kings of world soccer, walking out to defend the trophy they won so dramatically in Qatar 2022. And the weight of that moment, you could feel it. This was Messi's 200th appearance for Argentina, making him only the 3rd player overall and the only South American to reach that milestone. Think about that. 200 times pulling on that blue and white shirt. 200 times carrying a nation on his back. And when Messi scored that first goal, cameras caught him emotional, eyes teary, using the front of his sweat-soaked jersey to wipe his face. A man who has won everything, broken every record, and still, the emotion pours out of him like it's his first game. Over the past few months, one question followed Messi throughout his preparation for this tournament. At 38, after the move to MLS and the distance from European soccer, would he still be capable of deciding matches at the highest level? Kansas City answered that question in 76 minutes. He scored in the 17th, 60th, and 76th minute, his first ever hat trick at a World Cup, and took his World Cup tally to 16 goals, level with Miroslav Klose's all-time record. He also surpassed Pelé for the most goal contributions in World Cup history, with 24. Tonight, we are covering 3 things. First, why Messi's MLS retirement tour was actually the smartest strategic decision in soccer. Second, what this performance exposed about Algeria and African soccer's glass ceiling. Third, whether Argentina can actually become the first team since Brazil in 1962 to retain the World Cup. And my hot take on that will genuinely surprise you. Point 1. The MLS retirement tour was actually genius, and everyone got it wrong. Let's start here, because this is where I need to challenge what most people were saying. When Messi left Europe and signed for Inter Miami in 2023, the soccer world lost its mind. Pundits, journalists, former players, all saying the same thing. He's done. He's cashing out. He's going to play in a retirement league, and his legacy at the highest level is sealed. Wrong. Completely, embarrassingly wrong. Over the past few months, one question followed Messi throughout his preparation for the 2026 World Cup. At 38, would he still be capable of deciding matches at the highest level? The move to MLS, the distance from European soccer, and a less demanding competitive routine had fueled doubts over the sharpness he would bring to the biggest tournament on the planet. But here's what the doubters missed entirely. Body management. That's it. That's the secret. Away from the intensity of the European calendar, Messi embraced a more controlled and less physically demanding routine. The Argentine gained something that few athletes of his age possess: the ability to manage his own body with the biggest moments in mind. Think about what a full European season demands: La Liga, Champions League, Copa del Rey, the traveling, the tactical intensity, the physical battles week in, week out from August to May. At 38, that schedule doesn't just tire you, it breaks you. It chips away at your hamstrings, your knees, your recovery time. Messi opted out of that grind deliberately, strategically. While everyone was laughing at him playing in Fort Lauderdale, he was essentially doing what elite athletes in other sports have done for decades: periodizing his workload around the one event that matters most. And tonight, Messi scored in the 17th, 60th, and 76th minute, scoring his first ever hat trick at the World Cup on his 200th appearance for Argentina, becoming the first man to appear in 6 World Cups. That is not the performance of a player whose legs are gone. That is not a man running on reputation alone. That is a soccerer who has ruthlessly, intelligently preserved himself for this moment. Rodrigo de Paul said it best after the match: "It's an advantage to have Leo because of how he handles the group and pushes it forward, because of who he is. He doesn't care about individual records. He prioritizes the group, and for us, it's incredible." The mainstream opinion said MLS was the beginning of the end. I'm telling you, it was the preparation for the greatest ending in soccer history. Point 2. Algeria were exposed. And this is a bigger problem than just one bad night. Now, let me be fair to Algeria here. They came into this World Cup as Africa's great hope, AFCON winners, a squad packed with talent nurtured by French youth academies. Players like Fares Chaibi, technically gifted, creative, dangerous. Their goalkeeper, Luka Zidane, son of Zinedine. The symbolism alone was enough to get the world's attention. But symbolism doesn't stop Messi. Algeria offered little, but were themselves denied an early goal when Fares Chaibi's 9th-minute strike was ruled out for offside. That was genuinely their best moment, and when that chance was taken away, they crumbled. Tactically, mentally, physically. Algeria was toothless in attack for the majority of this match, and that exposes something that African soccer keeps refusing to confront: the gap between individual talent and collective organization at the elite level. Algeria have outstanding individual players, but structure, pressing triggers, defensive shape under pressure? Against a team as intelligent and experienced as Argentina, those gaps get ruthlessly punished. Gonzalo Montiel was lucky the offside flag went up, because his marking for what would have been Algeria's opener was dreadful. Algeria did have moments. They did probe around Argentina's penalty area constantly, but they lacked the clinical edge, the tactical discipline to turn pressure into goals. And here's the thing most people miss. Algeria's problem tonight wasn't Messi. Their problem was that they had no plan B. When plan A, hit them on the counter, stay organized, fell apart after that first Messi goal, they had nothing else to go to. In a 48-team World Cup, with more minnows and more upsets possible than ever before, the teams that go deep are the ones with multiple tactical identities. Algeria showed only one face tonight, and Argentina ripped it clean off. Point 3. Argentina's squad rotation plan is the most underrated story of this World Cup. Here's what I want you to notice. Not just what happened tonight, but how Argentina managed tonight. Messi scored his 3rd goal in the 76th minute. He was substituted off 3 minutes later to a standing ovation. The man who just broke a World Cup record pulled off the pitch with 14 minutes still to play. In the opening group game, That is not disrespect. That is a master plan. Lionel Scaloni is not just a soccer coach. He is a resource manager. And his most precious resource, his most irreplaceable, non-negotiable asset, is a 38-year-old man whose 39th birthday arrives next week. Every minute Messi plays is a calculated investment. Every rest is a dividend paid toward the knockout stages. Look at the squad depth Argentina deployed tonight. Alexis McAllister, rated 8 out of 10 by multiple analysts. Enzo Fernandez, equally commanding in midfield. Christian Romero and Lisandro Martinez, a center-back partnership that is arguably the most complete in world soccer right now. Julian Alvarez, relentless, intelligent, linking everything together up front. This is not a one-man team built around Messi and held together with prayers. This is a deep squad, a genuinely balanced, intensely collective side, one that Scaloni has specifically designed to maximize Messi's output while protecting his body for the moments that matter most. McAllister's post-match words were no accident. Everyone saw he is the best. That is a dressing room that believes. A dressing room that is organized around a shared mission. And in tournament soccer, belief and organization beat talent every single time. Argentina's group opponents, Algeria, Austria, Jordan, are winnable, comfortably winnable, which means Scaloni has 3 games to carefully manage Messi's minutes, rotate the squad, keep legs fresh, and arrive at the round of 32 with a fully loaded weapon ready to fire. Brazil in 1958 and 1962 are the only team to ever successfully defend a World Cup title. Every team since has failed. France failed, Germany failed, Spain failed, Brazil themselves failed. The pressure, the fatigue, the weight of expectation, it crushes defending champions. Scaloni knows that history, and tonight's performance suggests he has a plan to rewrite it. The hot take, and I need you to hear this clearly. Right, here it is. My verdict. No hedging, no, it could go either way. I'm taking a side. Lionel Messi will finish this World Cup as the all-time leading goal scorer in FIFA World Cup history. Alone. Not level with Klose, above him. And Argentina will win the 2026 World Cup. There, I said it. Here's why I'm confident enough to stake my reputation on this. Messi tonight moved to 16 World Cup goals, level with Miroslav Klose. He also surpassed Pelé for the most goal contributions in World Cup history with 24. He is in the form of his life, not his 2012 Barcelona life, but his 2026 World Cup life, which, at 38, with managed minutes and a team built around him, is more than enough. The emotional scenes tonight. Messi breaking down in tears after scoring that first goal. Fans interpreting that as a man who knows this is his last World Cup. That is fuel. Pure, uncontainable fuel. You cannot manufacture that kind of motivation. You cannot coach it. It either exists inside a player or it doesn't. Inside Messi right now, it is burning. And the competition? France are dangerous but fragile. Brazil are inconsistent. England are England. Nobody in this tournament has shown the combination of individual brilliance, collective organization, and tactical intelligence that Argentina showed in just 76 minutes tonight. The doubters had their moment. The MLS critics had their say. The Father Time merchants had their headlines. Messi answered every single one of them tonight in Kansas City, 1 game in. The rest of this World Cup already belongs to him. Stay with me, because in the outro, I'm bringing everything together, delivering my final verdict even louder, and asking you one question that I genuinely want your answer to. 3 things we covered tonight. 3 things you need to carry with you from this video. 1. Messi's move to MLS wasn't a retirement. It was the most calculated body preservation strategy in modern soccer history. And tonight in Kansas City, it paid off in the most spectacular fashion imaginable. 2. Algeria were exposed as a team with individual quality, but zero tactical identity beyond their opening plan, and that is a warning signal for every African nation still dreaming of going deep in this tournament. 3. Argentina under Scaloni are not just riding Messi's brilliance. They are a deep, balanced, collectively brilliant squad with a rotation master plan that could genuinely make them the first team in over 60 years to successfully defend a World Cup title. And my final verdict? Even bolder than before. Lionel Messi will leave the 2026 World Cup as the greatest player to ever grace this competition. Not just in legacy, not just in artistry, but in the cold, hard, undeniable language of goals and trophies. He is 16 World Cup goals deep, level with Klose, and he has at least 4 more games minimum to break that record outright. Argentina will win this tournament. I am not hedging. I am not giving you a diplomatic answer. I am telling you, flat out, that this World Cup belongs to Argentina, and the story of this summer will be written entirely by a 38-year-old man from Rosario who cried on a soccer pitch in Kansas City because he loves this game more than any of us will ever fully understand. Think about that image for a second. The greatest player in the history of soccer, 200 caps, 6 World Cups, every record imaginable already in his pocket. And he still cried when he scored. That is not a man winding down. That is a man on a mission. The hat trick tonight was scored 20 years to the day after Messi's World Cup debut as a substitute against Serbia and Montenegro at Germany 2006. 20 years, full circle, and he is still the best player on the planet. You genuinely cannot write a story this good. Now, here's my question for you, and I want real answers in the comments, not one-word replies. Should Scaloni start Messi from the first minute against Austria, or rest him and trust the squad depth, knowing that protecting Messi now could be the difference between lifting the trophy and going home early? Drop your answer below. I read every single comment on this channel, every one. And if you watch this entire video and you're not subscribed yet, what are you actually doing? Hit that subscribe button. Not because I'm asking you to, but because if you love soccer analyzed at this level, with this much passion and this much detail, you belong here. We'll see you for the Austria match breakdown. Don't miss it.